Hello, everybody. I feel like going live tonight. Lucky everybody. Just in that mood to hit the camera live button and get out there and express my take on learning guitar out here to the YouTube world in hopes that someone gets helped out from the darkness of not knowing anything. Maybe just jamming along with your favorite tunes. But not knowing too much about improvising or music. So I'm live today for that purpose, and in hopes that I'll catch a subscriber maybe out of this, find someone new. If you are catching this video while it's live, feel free to ask a question. I think if you ask a question after it's live, I still get it. I get a notification of it, so I can still use it to answer a question that you have about music. So, hey, Red Walrus, you're here. Hey, congrats on 700 subs. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is a little bit of a milestone there. I should definitely count these little milestones as they occur. So, yeah, man, good to see you. Tonight's lesson, I guess I was going to do the same old thing. I don't know if I changed the title on. Yeah, I did. I put down how to play in any mode, anytime, anywhere. But maybe tonight I express it a little bit more clear or quickly. So I'm going to go with that. If you have any suggestions or any questions along the way, Red, feel free to ask. Or I guess also anyone else who hops in. So let's get started. I guess I'll hear if I got the guitar is even playing here. Yeah, I guess that's audible there. Okay. So how to play any mode, anytime, anywhere. Do you have advice for learning all the notes? Like, as in learning all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G all over the fretboard? Well, yes and no. No, because I haven't found like it's super necessary. Once I sort of know, but I don't like if I play this note really fast. I have to think about it for a second. Oh yeah, that's I played a D sharp. This I just played. And I'm doing that. I don't know that exact note. I just referenced it from a point I do know. There's the 12th fret. So I played this note really fast. I just think about it really quick. I go down an octave, and I know that that's a C sharp. So I know notes by their relative position. So if I play this one and I can't think of it really fast by itself, I just go with the next closest note. I know that that's an E. That must be a G. How do you like that? That's what I do. There's a couple other ways I've tried. You can cluster your notes. You'll find that there's a, I believe it's, goes like this. Am I writing down here? A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. So, and that repeats all over the fretboard. As a matter of fact, what do you notice right there, which is one of the highlights of the video I should be, or will probably be talking about in a little bit, is the square box, right? The box of 4 notes of a 7-note scale. That means you have 4 notes right there. You only have 3 notes left at any given time, A, D. And so here's 4 notes on the outside, so that leaves 8. There must be a repeat, right? There you go. It's D and D. And what do you know? That's the same way you tune your guitar when you use the 5th string there. The way an A is an A, or a D is a D here on the D string. So anyways, yeah. And then you'd have, what's the last letter not named there? G. Adam, God, right? So anyways, you got that shape, and once you know the box, the rules of the box, that it always repeats down at an angle this way, using what I call the tritone row, because that's actually a tritone apart. You can always know that you've got basically A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all from here in through here. Okay, here's another way to actually learn, that may be a real convenient way for you to learn all the notes of the major scale. Do you know all your modal shapes? Like, you know that this is the Dorian scale. And this is Aeolian. I just played it from what would be known as Mixolydian here on the... But these modes are in relation to... I'm playing them like I played A, Aeolian, and D, Dorian. That's out of the C major scale. So anyways, what I'm saying is just play the C major... Know your modes of the C major scale, and then you'll know every whole note on the guitar. So, for example, if you knew your D Dorian scale, you have D, E, F... G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So if somebody called out one of those, note names, you can just go to your, basically like right here, your Dorian shape, or even just go see Ionian right from here. And then in the in between those notes, you would be able to find all your half steps. You would know, like, where your A note is, so you would know where A sharp is, or your B note for B flat. Yeah. So that's what I would do. Is that anything that you already do, Red? Oh, is that a pick go flying there? I don't know. And we're just going to grab another pick here. Let's try this guy here. Here's the pick I'm using. I found this going through a coin train, an old car of mine. It's a thin, but I got these, I don't know where I started finding these, but like this one is by, I don't know who the hell it's by. Can you see that? Is that Fender or something? Stag. And they're kind of like bubbly. But I like them because they don't wear out as much, and they kind of got that rounder edge. Kind of helps if you end up striking the string a little bit high up, it helps you still glide over it a little more. You have that, and you have a real thick one right there. Well, that's all for it. No, I was kidding. Well, what should we do here? And if you have any more questions about notes, let me know, or any way that you learned them. Yeah, if you got a better way. Um, so if somebody called out a note, you could know it. You could have it anywhere on the fretboard there. Um, so playing a mode, any key, anytime, anywhere. Um, I don't know. Now I'm like, I don't know. When I was thinking about this lesson, I was like, yeah, I would explain this. I'd explain that. Yeah, I'll. Oh my gosh, I'm now worried I'm not even making any sense. I'm just rambling and talking too fast here. Um, I was just thinking, man, I don't know if I want to say all this now. I lost my urge to repeat the same old thing. Here's the deal, I have this other really, really, really amazing lesson, because the thing about this graph paper method, it's never let me down, and I've I think I've said this in other videos. Like, I've been waiting for this to mellow out and just be like, okay, this is as far as the graph paper will take me. There's a brick wall here, and you just don't learn anything more. But man, I always learning something new. And whenever I do think of something new, I can graph it out and see if it's like, if I'm just making a mistake, or something like that. And the other day, I thought about, now I know, my modes, like I explained to you guys how to get into any mode anytime. So now I'm trying to really get well versed in modal interchange. Well, I really stressed the word interchange there, modal interchange. And I want to get into uh, changing modes, being able to change in and out of modes to make really interesting key changes. There's just a lot to do there, and I got a really slick way to use this. Sort of give it a little hint here with this box method. I got a great way to get in and out of different modes, and to know exactly how many notes they share, like between, like when you're, for people who know modes and you know what I'm talking about, if you change to a parallel mode, it's from a different key, and key changes share either a lot of notes or very few notes, and there's a definite pattern of how many notes each other. Basically, you have a, here, let me show you. Let me write this down so everyone will know what I'm talking about. That's why we got graph paper here, right? Here's your root. And you've got basically, from any note you pick, you've basically got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 notes right there. 12 notes. So you got 11 other choices. So, yeah. What was I saying? I have no idea. I got lost. It was too deep a thought there about modes, and I have no one else to talk to. Just ramble on here, so it gets kind of confusing. Anyways, looks like I'll probably be deleting this lesson. I don't know. I really gone off the deep end on this one. It's kind of late. It's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock here, Eastern time on a Thursday night. Worked hard as hell. Construction job. It kicks my ass, and I really don't like it. So it's lucky when I have energy to get out here and say anything at all. So let me get to the point of why, I guess, the promise of the title of this video. I guess there's people who probably clicked on this to go, okay, dude, tell me about what the title says and stop rambling. So, learning guitar. We always graph a guitar neck out, and we can do that real fast here. For you new people, it's how you graph a guitar. Make a thick line to represent your guitar neck, so you'll know where that is. We gotta get down 24 frets here to make a nice, in case you got a 24 fret guitar, you can just do 22 if you want, if you're on a Fender. Got a couple Fenders over there. Some of my favorite sounding guitars, but we're on an Ibanez Gem. Ooh, and look at that weird paint job it has. Who would paint $1,000 Gem in those weird colors? You know who? Someone who never paid for a Gem and who basically stole it. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't steal it. But I sort of did. It's a Chinese ripoff. It's a knockoff. As you could probably tell if you're an aficionado, you knew right to look right here at the bolts. If there's not 5 bolts, it's a ripoff. So yeah, it's a little counterfeit. This one came in a kit, an eBay kit. Like you could build your own if you wanted to. So that's how I got this one. But I did buy another one from a manufacturer that in China that was actually selling like knockoff guitars that were pretty close, but definitely not spot on in quite a few important ways. But I shaved the necks down. I don't know what got me started talking about this, but the neck is shaved down from a big fat baseball Telecaster style neck down to the 18 millimeters that you would probably find on a typical high speed Ibanez style neck. And it was given a fret job, so it's at least up to the standard of a normal playing guitar, but I'm sure I don't have the exact mechanics of a Ibanez, which would really be a great thing. I would love that kind of guitar. But anyways, oh my gosh, ramble. Sorry for the ramble. Let's ramble on here and get this done. You always skip 2. You can go to the outside lines there to designate your 12th fret there, and then you'll find your 24th fret here where you can draw final line and trace it all the way back to the beginning there. We're not using our straight edge today. We're going real sloppy on you. Oh my gosh, look at me go. That was really bad. Whew, straight lines. Look at that. And our straight edge was right here. Talk about an unorganized desk. Oh, man. Sorry, people. Maybe we'll get in gear soon. Okay. Any moment, anytime, anywhere. Well, look at you got this square shape here that you got to know of. The big key is that you have a square of notes. A scale only has 7 notes: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do, right? So here's 4 of those 7. So how many do you have left? 3. Just like I was explaining a few minutes ago, you have this basic square shape, and the remaining notes always hang out outside the square. Okay. So the key is that this square here is always going to be the parent key. That's the Ionian, major Ionian. Whereas your Aeolian always going to be, Aeolian is always going to be here. Will actually always hang down here. And it will always be here. And what do you know? There's the octave pattern on the guitar where you skip a string and skip a fret like this. In this case, if that's a C note, that would be an A. Okay. Anyways, you have your 2, your Dorian right here. Here's what we're going to do, and what you guys can do too. Put an I. You don't have to color these in. Just put an I in there for Ionian. D for Dorian. That pen isn't doing very good. Let's try this one out. I don't think they like to write over the colored pencil very much. A lot of wax in there probably. Says Mr. Know-It-All. A for Aeolian. All right, let's mark these out first then. We got Locrian, which we always denote with the X because we like our L to denote Lydian, which we use a lot more often. Phrygian. I hate saying Phrygian. Lydian and Mixolydian. So Mixolydian, for all intents and purposes, what we use for Mixolydian, I guess we'll use red. I sometimes think Mixolydian, I think green, but anyways. Octave patterns mean Mixolydian is either always on the outside of your 4. I'm sorry, it's not here, that's orange. It's either here or here, connected to your square box. If such a string so exists, you'd have your... So, for example, this would also be do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Do, do, do. So, that is the mechanics of that. Now, what happened here? Something went wrong here. This M looks a little bit like an A, but let's make that an M and an M. All right. So, really all you need is to draw this fretboard out and this little key signature out, and you'll have the whole thing understood. Now, what you need to know about this square is the magic of this square. Follow a couple simple rules, and you'll be able to use this as a navigation tool to plug this in anywhere on your fretboard. So, the rules are as follows. You plug this square box will always assemble itself 4 notes like this. Right next to each other. Anywhere on the fretboard, wherever you want. This note is going to be considered your Ionian major, that's your major scale, the parent key. But if you want to, I'll tell you in a minute how to turn it all into modes, but this is how to use this tool to get across the fretboard. Once you can use this square box to get across the fretboard, then just need to know how to plug it in, and you plug in the formula and you can play anywhere all across. You have every note available under your fingertips organized. Your 7 in tones and your 5 use sparingly chromatic special tool things, the black keys basically of your key. So, what was I going to say here? Oh, yeah, here. So imagine right here, I'm going to show you some groups here. We'll move this fretboard over a little bit. So I'm sure this will be apparent, but just for those of you who want a full walkthrough, imagine a grouping of these 2 strings, these 2 strings, these 2 strings, and then another grouping that involves these 2 strings and these 2 strings, and then leaves these 2 as like a split square. It's the same square. It's actually a copy because it's the exact same string. Making sense? Okay. So, in that regard, here we've got our 4 note box on the this group here, where it's the outer, middle, and outer strings. How they work is in this group, which I like the best. This is the easiest one. This square always follows like this. It always connects this way. Always connects from this corner to this corner. So what I'm telling you is this. On your fretboard, if you are at B, C, and E and F, you'll always find B, C, E, F. No matter what notes you choose, I'm going to choose any random square. You find the same notes. And if you're having a duh moment going, oh yeah, well that is the octave pattern. Cool, right? Well, let's expand on this and get it all across the fretboard. So easy, it's not even funny. Now, this is going to turn into something but let's just look at the basics really quick here. Because this is how you, if you ever get lost, just use this little part to navigate in, and everything expands from here. Because remember, you've got 4 notes of the scale right there underneath your fingers. You've only got 3 more to find. Not hard. So, this scale, or this 4 notes, will always be the same as these 4 notes and these 4 notes. Okay, and we're going to populate this in a second, but consider that. You've gone from here now to here with almost every note in the scale. Okay? There's another row of this square box on the fretboard, and that involves this. It spans another area of frets, meaning that you're going to cover about 24 frets. Oops. With this system, meaning you've covered the octave and you know the whole fretboard. The other section repeats. So, and once you know this, it's so easy to morph in and out of these shapes. Let me give you a little run through here. There. A little out of the frame there. I don't know what, my chair is sinking down here. Sorry. Thanks, Walmart, for the quality chair. There I went down my, whole fretboard, just thinking in terms of how this box links up all the other pentatonics and everything that you already know. So there's this angular box, and I'm going to draw it out here, but there's the first thing you want to know about this box is there's a little rule here, as is above, so is below rule. You ancient architects fans, as is above, so is below, means that the ancient Egyptians created your fretboard. No, I'm just kidding. The what it means is that the E string is the E string, so wherever you have this box, you have the beginning of the next row always directly on top of it. So, for example, if I was all the way here, there's the box. With the correct fingers. So wherever you find that box on the bottom, it's always on the top. So I just did this. I played from here, and I went down to there, and now there's a box right there. And a box connecting to the corner here. However, we're crossing the B string, so that means about the shift, and that brings this little broken box here, which should always be what I call, that should be what you call your Aeolian marker, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Why is that called the Aeolian marker? So at the bottom corner of that square, sure enough, is this corner, and that brings us back to square one. How funny is that? Square one. Interesting. Square one. So we're at the beginning of the next row. Now all we know is 4 notes, but that's going to change real quick. Now, so that's how you get across the fretboard really quick with just that simple core of information. Now, here's how you expand it. All you need to do is plug in these little wings to each one of these bricks, and you'll have the entire scale underneath your fingers. And it's as easy as that. That's really all you need to do, but I'm going to show you a more expanded way or a way to... You'll probably see this, a way that you're probably just suddenly going to see for yourself. I think you're going to go, Oh, hey, that's what what I used to know as the Dorian shape or the Phrygian shape, right? Remember those shapes? That if you knew those shapes, like let me draw it down here really quick. What's called the Dorian shape and why it's called the Dorian shape? Because if you start this scale and play your square box here, oh man, I messed that up pretty big time. What the fuck have I done? Alright, I just really messed everything up. Anyways, should not be a line right there. There should be a line there, and a line there, and a line here, and a line there, and that should not be anything. So anyways, aside from the Messerino there, you know this as your Dorian shape because basically you're starting with the D for Dorian. Well, you're right here at D. This is your P, this is your L. And this is your M and your A for Mixolydian, Aeolian. And of course, this is your square box. So you got Locrian, Ionian, Phrygian, Lydian. These are basically this is Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, and or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the corresponding, you can just inject anything you want into these squares. Man, it's so hard to say this because I'm thinking about all the wrong ideas people can get from what I say. And I was just thinking about how anybody could take what I just said wrong. But anyways, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Remember, these are moods for all the beginning people who are like, all right, you're speaking Greek to me. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. These are moods, and they are dependent on, like, you consider that your root note, and then this group of notes becomes that emotional sound. But if you make this your root note by playing this combination of notes while this is the note that's ringing out on the bass, then it dons this sound, which would be D for Dorian, or if it's this one, it'll get the Aeolian sound. And it's up to you to see some of my other videos to get an idea of, if you don't already know, about what the organization is to the happy sounds and the sad sounds. There's basically 3 of each. It's pretty easy. So anyways, just to make sure you're all on the same page, there's our square block, so it never changes, just to reinforce this information here. Aeolian, and what's before P? That would be a D, right? All right. So, the reason the shape, back to what I was saying, the reason the shape then, therefore, is called Dorian is because its root note, or its starting position, is on the D for Dorian, or the 2 of the C major scale. C would be here, and call that I for Ionian, or the starting note of any scale. Put any note in this box and on the guitar, and so for example, if I put this over the G sharp, then I'm playing a G sharp major scale. And if that note rings out, even with a major chord, that's major. But if I play up here on the starting on the 2 and making its corresponding minor chord, so what you can hear is, just how the same notes will sound totally different based on what low chord is playing over them. I was just playing the same notes, but they got sad and they got happy based on when I was playing a happy Ionian or a sad Dorian. Okay, so that being said, what I'm getting at here is then why we're going to call this plug-in here a Dorian. You may know that if you know that scale is a Dorian scale, then and you know that those 4 square notes are down here, then yeah, you are indeed seeing correctly here that this is the Dorian scale. All we're really doing is plugging in these wings on each side, but in doing that, you create, here's the thing, here's the wings, here's this square, here's its wings. On the back side, hey, look at that, you're in your Dorian structure. So just know that these, when you're playing in that major scale structure, the Dorian structure, those you're playing your 3 boxes. You're playing in your really easy area of the fretboard. And if you want to get out of there really quick, you can go to the bottom, play the broken box, and then you know that the other box starts over here and over here. Oh, it doesn't connect there. My bad. Look at that. I'm testing you guys. See if you're paying attention. From here to here, it technically does, but there is a... Wait a minute. Oh my god. Wow, I must be really tired tonight. We're okay. I wasn't right. It does connect there, but there's a the B string shift is there. So I don't know why you just tripped out over that, but anyways. Kaboom, kabam, kaboom. Square blocks, wing notes, Aeolian Dorian, because that's always on that side. Oh, G and D, that's the wrong what do I do? A D. Oh yeah, Dorian. Mixolydian. So yeah, I did something weird earlier when I was talking about Red Walrus, if you're still watching. Earlier, when I was talking about... Oh, I erased it. That's what I did. I think I was... A-D... What did I do? Adam. Why did I say God? Because I put G-D in there. But I was thinking, why would I do that? When that would have been... Let's still... Okay, never mind. Because the notes... Okay, I might have been talking about notes, and then it's stupid because Aeolian and Dorian start with an A and a D, and that's probably what I was talking about. Never mind. Okay. No one probably knows anything about what I was just gibberish on about there, so sorry. It's amazing I got 700 subscribers giving lectures like this. How does this work? I feel like this is terrible. Anyways, back to the bump and grind here. So, I don't know if you noticed this one on this side of the Dorian scale, right connected to it is a shape my original guitar teacher taught me as the Phrygian shape. And for well and good, now it sticks in my mind whenever I'm in that shape. I just know I can concentrate on this group of notes here and know where I am, considering I'm in that kind of Phrygian shape. Here I'm in the Dorian. And they overlap a little bit. And you can consider these like your bridge shapes. This kind of helps bridge you. That square box up here kind of leads you into the broken box down here, which once you're playing these notes, you're basically right into the Aeolian structure. It's basically 3 pentatonic guideposts. That's what I should have called this lesson. Perhaps the 3 pentatonic guideposts of the fretboard. And maybe I'll do basically the same lesson, but with that as a title to catch more viewers. I don't know. We'll color it in here. Here's Dorian. This might be a little confusing now because I got those colors up there and it won't. Just trying to show you these scales and have them pop out at you. Here we have see when the pretty much the only place on the fretboard this actually works out is when the box is on the A string. Starting on the A string, we consider this the top of the box. Starting on the A string, then you get that upper mixolydian, lower aeolian note. So, for example, so the final summation of the video is this. Now we can get up and down the fretboard, right? I think I'll color in aeolian here and tell you this. Now, I stand alone with my cries. Well, we got a mistake happening here. Go to Mr. Steak. Never go to mistakes. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So kind of darken that in a bit so it shows up and becomes clear to everybody. Where in Lord's creation? All right. So, aeolian shape on the end there, which brings you back to the big box, which is the beginning of your Dorian shape. Blah blah blah. Okay. So, now it's how to play in any mode, anytime, anywhere. Well, write this code down and work it like this. Know your E string here. Let's plug in our E string. Know all the notes of your E string. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. E. Oh, did I just... Well, I messed that up. B, C, right? Then D, E, F, G... Where did I start this one? I started it in a pretty random spot there. Anyways, what are we on? Where is it? D. I chose the key of D, right? Okay. G, A, B. So we're well past the octave there. Here was the octave right here. Let's consider even the F note, just to make it a little easier. So, if someone says play a Dorian scale, you've got these two choices you can use. Dorian is on the outside of the square box, but no big deal really. If someone says play an F Dorian, play a D Dorian scale, well, not for nothing, but if you know this pentatonic shape, you can really just start this pentatonic shape on the Dorian note, and then once you find your square box within the shape, well, you know your whole fretboard right from there, playing in the... So if it was D Dorian, Dorian is minor. We're not going to tell you in this lesson, like, how does all this work? Where do these modes come from? That's a whole long lesson, but it's buried deep in this channel. Write me a letter. Tell me that you blast out on the channel that in the comment section that you want a lesson about that. And I'll make it. So, yeah, you can take, you find your note, know the notes of your E string, F to F, and you have every note available right there. So then you just need to plug this formula in. If someone says Lydian, you're going to put that L over the note name. So if someone says play in D Lydian, okay, so where's our D note? Well, there's G, A, B, C, D. This is going to be Lydian, so it's the bottom of our square. So we got the bottom of a square here. What does that mean? We got a square right here. Yeah. So let's put Phrygian, right? Phrygian. No, right? Phrygian. Someone says playing C Phrygian, so we find the C note. There's my C. Just trying to get that Phrygian sound out of that scale. It's kind of hard because that major scale loves to resolve on those strong, major tones. If you aren't careful with your noodling, you'll imply other modes. But if you got a backing track that starts ringing out, or find one of those backing modal tracks, they're so easy to find now on YouTube. You can just type in D Dorian, type in whatever letter you want, that's A to G, and whatever mode you want, and you'll find a backing track now on YouTube. So find those, just throw one on, because who cares which one it is? You can play in any one of them, and then get a feel for it. What is Dorian sound, and then play a Aeolian one after that one, and see if it sounds a little different to you. And make sure you're putting the squares over the right spots. So, for example, Aeolian. Let's play B Aeolian, right? So how would we play in B Aeolian? Well, for me, I actually, instead of plugging in the B over the proverbial A there, I could do that, and then I would know that my B note is here, and the A for Aeolian is there, so there must be the two notes in my scale right there. And then that would mean that my four notes are here, because I'm at the bottom, so the full square must be down here. And when I got the full square locked into the top two strings, now I know where I am on my whole fretboard, because right there is the top of the Dorian, Phrygian, in between kind of scale, Aeolian, in my mind's eye I'm seeing that Aeolian box. In my mind's eye I'm seeing the four square notes with the two on bottom. And I knew that I had hit a bad note there just by my ear, so I knew to go up a half step, and I returned to thinking that my box is here. Dorian. See, we turned that into E flat major, because that's where I resolved it to. I brought you back as I went down the scale. I started hearing it in my ear that it was sounding more like it was resolving toward this note in the box, which is real common. I moved you down a whole step. Okay, well, what do we get? 50 minutes today, Red Walrus. We didn't get any of these 700 subscribers to show up. I thank you for showing up if you're still there. Maybe just hung back and fell asleep. I don't blame you. give you a music theory bedtime story. um, I'm gonna jet out of here, I guess. If you have any questions, ask them now. I think I'm pretty much explained there what I can. If you somehow someday are out there watching this lesson and you're like, you made it through all those rough spots there, and you sort of know what's going on, but you kind of still have a question and it didn't get explained right, definitely leave it down below, because I believe I always get the notifications when I get a comment. So I'll definitely see it and respond in some way, shape, or form. So that being said, I appreciate that you were on tonight, Red, and cool. Hope there was something learned, something gained, some value from your time here, and I'll sign off now, and hopefully see you guys tomorrow, maybe a little later in the evening. Friday night should have time to go live, I think, right? Should be raining or something, but it's been that kind of spring, raining every day. See everyone tomorrow. Hope you have a great night. See ya. And no, do I wish to exit? No. So, once again, since I didn't click off properly, everybody have a great night, and we're going to click stop streaming right now. So, have a great night.